Sometimes after a long day of work, you might be tired and you just want to spend time with yourself. You just want to be alone. So today's topic in part 2 of the IELTS speaking exam, we're going to talk about being alone. Welcome, I'm Maddie and I'm joined by 3 wonderful students. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Sashi.
Julia.
I'm Laura.
Welcome. And today we are going to be doing some practice on part 2 of the speaking test of the IELTS exam. So today, as we've said, we're going to be talking about being alone. And we're going to talk about the places you might go if you want to be alone, why you might go there, when do you go to be alone, and how does it make you feel being alone? Does it recharge you maybe? So I'm going to give you all a piece of paper to talk about a place you go when you want to be alone. And I'm going to give you 1 minute to write down some ideas that you might say when you are doing your practice IELTS speaking test. All right, your 1 minute starts now. Great. That's 1 minute. Now, I felt this one was tricky for me, so we'll talk to you guys about what came to your head first. What might you talk about if you got this question?
Yep. So I decided to choose my room because that is normally where I go when I don't want to see anyone.
Mm-hmm.
In my room, I find normally no one disturbs me while I'm there, and I just like to chill out by either watching some TV or reading my book or sometimes having a little nap. I feel like that recharges me.
And what's a nap?
Nap is a short sleep for about, normally taken in the day for about 1 hour, just a short 20 minutes, however long you want.
So it's a short sleep
Yeah.
in the middle of the day usually, or at some point in the day.
Yeah, but then I also just, in case I ran out of time about what I like to do in my room, I would probably go on to say that I wouldn't like to spend too much time in my room, like maybe 2 hours max, just so I can recharge and then go back out.
And what does max mean?
It's a word for maximum.
Yeah.
So just that's it, as long as possible.
Yeah.
And then I'd say maybe how many times I spend alone in my room, like maybe two times a week. I feel like I could talk about that for a while if I was running out of things to say.
Yeah, great. Julia, what about you?
So I chose to talk about my car and driving because I really enjoy driving and I like being in my car. And sometimes when I'm just feeling a little bit off or I just want some time alone, I like to get in my car, listen to some music and just drive somewhere. Often, so I'm originally from a place that's like close to the beach, so often I would get in my car and just drive to the beach, and either just sit in the car and listen to music and watch the waves, or sometimes I'd get out and walk around a little bit. But yeah, so I think I'd talk about where I go when I go in my car, but also I could then delve further into this idea of driving, and I could talk about when I bought my car and how long I've been driving for when I got my license, things like that. So you can kind of delve down that route as well, which gives you something else to talk about.
And do you have a time, like does every Friday night you feel like you need to be alone, or every Monday or after work? Do you usually have a...
It kind of depends, really. It's not really around my schedule, like my timetabling. So it's not really on set days. It's more about how I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling a little bit exhausted, or I've been around people for too long, or I'm a bit sick of my friends or family or whoever I'm living with, it's more about my emotions and how I'm feeling.
Great. And you just said, I'm a bit sick of my family or friends. What does sick of mean?
Sick of means you've had enough of something or someone.
Yeah.
So, if you're in close proximity with people for a long period of time, eventually you can get sick of them.
Yeah.
You've kind of had enough, you need a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. What about you, Laura?
So I was talking about like being outside and kind of more specifically going for a walk, or even just like sitting outside on some grass, that kind of thing. When I was living at home, I would like take the dog for a walk, and that was like a really nice time to be alone, to recharge, that kind of thing. Obviously, you'd also talk about like being out in nice weather, and obviously like you'd say like Melbourne weather obviously like is historically not very nice, so you'd say that take advantage of when there is a nice sunny day, you do go outside, and that's such a, I feel like it's a rewarding feeling being out in the sun, and it makes you feel really nice. You talk about how you feel when you're outside, why you feel like that, you know, like vitamin D, being in the sun, all that kind of thing.
Before, Laura, you said,
sorry.
I want to recharge. It'll help me recharge.
Yeah.
What might recharge mean?
So it's like kind of like if you have a phone, like you want to recharge your phone battery, it's like that with people as well. So if you're feeling like your energy is depleted of low energy levels, you would recharge. And a way that I would do that is by going outside. It makes you feel more energized.
Great.
After that, you also talk about like what you do when you're outside, listen to music, or like you're just like people watching, or just like sitting in silence, that kind of thing. I feel like that's what I would be talking about. But yeah.
Great. I think we've learnt a lot about different ways people can be alone. We can be alone in our room, we can be alone outside, we can be alone in our car. So it's just about taking all experiences and bringing it to whatever the question is. So I personally don't like being alone. So maybe I would talk about being an extrovert, which is someone who likes being around people a lot and recharging myself by being around other people. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And make sure you let us know in the comments where you go to be alone. Maybe after a long day of work, what do you do to recharge your batteries? Great. See you next time.